Having project management knowledge is important for projects, but without a positive team, it does not matter. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 key tips you need to ensure that you have a positive team. Trust your team. Okay, this is so important for a positive work environment. Do you ever recall when you've been micromanaged, or if your boss didn't trust you in everything that you're doing? How did it feel for you? Not good. In fact, negative. It is so critical with your project team that you build trust within it. But how do you do that? Well, you need to set them up for success, and that's where you come in with the work that you do. It is critical that you start things off properly by having all the baseline information. And when you work together to finalize the plan, you then hand it off to them. And because you set up the expectations, then that's where the trust comes in. Put the trust forth that, hey, we all agree to everything. We now know what we're doing. We agree to how we're working. Go forth and execute those tasks. And you know what? Just follow up with them as needed. Don't micromanage them, because again, that is another way of saying, I don't trust you. Before I share the next tip, I have for you a guide, which is critical that you're going to want to get, which is on the top 10 project mistakes that are going to set you up for failure. So on that note, how can you get it? The link is underneath this video. Stay solution oriented. Okay, think of on a personal note. Do you have friends who always complain? They're very negative. Everything is wrong, but they don't ever come up with a solution. How does that feel? It kind of brings you down. That's where the negativity comes into play. So in order to do the opposite, positivity, you have to have solutions. There's nothing wrong with, let's say, bringing up a negative thing or having some complaints, because I guess that's life. But we need to balance it by saying, all right, we may have this challenge, we may have this complaint, we may have this issue, but let's be solution oriented around it. So now you're looking at things from a positive lens. The glass is now half full versus half empty. But how do you do that with a team? So you have a challenge, that's okay. The next question to ask them is, let's now think about a solution. And in order to do that, you include them in on brainstorming sessions. You include them in on the decision making. That's going to ensure that everyone realizes that, yeah, you have these challenges, you have these issues, but you're being proactive and you're being solution oriented and including them in on it. They're going to feel empowered and very positive towards you and working on that project. Celebrate milestones and the wins that you're experiencing. Look, sometimes as project managers, we're so focused on being oriented towards getting our tasks done, and whenever issues pop up, how do we resolve this issue? And sometimes that's where we go, and we're always looking how to improve and make it better. That's just our mindset. That's part of the world we live in. But what we can forget sometimes is that we have to also reflect on all the good things, because all the good things just happen. People are humming. You had a really good plan. People know what to do. I know you're focusing your attention on things that are popping up, but you really have to take a step back and going, okay, what are we doing well? And the easiest way to do that is to celebrate your milestones. Did you achieve something that was really important for part of the project? Well, acknowledge that. Just don't assume that, hey, it's all done and we're moving on to the next one. I know we do that. I do that myself. And I got to remind myself, it's not just about me trying to move on to the next thing as fast as I can get there. It's about taking that moment and really celebrating, wow, look at all this hard work we just did. What can we learn from it? Awesome. Let's celebrate it. And now let's move on to the next one. It just really anchors the great work. It brings your team together and really reinforces positivity. Before we get on to the next tips, not only do I have this great free content here on YouTube, I have this. For a deep dive into the essentials of running successful projects, I'd love for you to join one of my Slay programs. Slay Project Management is an online course with step-by-step videos, tools, and templates for the full project lifecycle. Or go pro with Slay Pro. Everything in Slay, plus weekly group coaching calls with me so you can tackle your real-world scenarios and issues to get on the right track. Ready to level up? Check out the details below. Recognition and appreciation. This is very similar to celebrating milestones, but it's being very specific to an individual. Recognize the great work people are doing. Look, everyone has a lot on their plate. I promise you this. You're not the only project. Your team members have their daily activities. They have probably other projects that are doing just like you do. So you need to recognize when someone is doing a great job. Yeah, you can say, but Adriana, that's their job. They're supposed to be doing it. But you know what? If you want to cultivate positivity, it's about acknowledging the great work people are doing. And not only through that acknowledgement, it's an appreciation. Okay, really appreciating. Thank you so much for taking the time and making this a priority. I'm letting you know When you don't appreciate or recognize, it's a surefire way to ensure that people are going to feel taken advantage of. And when people feel that they're being taken advantage of, whether or not you're taking advantage of them, okay, this is now perception. They're going to feel that and it's going to turn into negativity. So I'm not saying that you have to reward everyone all the time and that everybody needs to get a first place ribbon. I'm not saying that. But look, you know when someone has gone above and beyond, thank them for that. A simple thank you. Even just at a milestone, taking everybody out for lunch as an appreciation and a recognition is just really important because people do a lot of great work and a lot of times people do go above and beyond. So just acknowledge it. It's a simple thing, but huge for positivity. Take care of yourself. I see this all the time with my coaching students. They're coming in, they're stressed, they have these problems, and that's why I'm there, to help them solve them and give them some really good solid advice so they can move things forward. But what they're not doing is they're not taking care of themselves. And what's happening is when you're not taking care of you, you are so focused on everything but what's really important. And when you're stressed, your behavior becomes that way too. You stress out other people, people pick up on that. And maybe the way you reply to things is not so thoughtful, which is just going to lead to isolation of your team. So taking care of yourself is critical. It's just like on the airplanes that they tell you, you know what, if you have someone with you, a young person, put your oxygen mask on first before you put the oxygen mask on the child. It's the same thing with your project team. If you want a positive team, then you have to take care of yourself. You have to bring in that positivity and let go of the stress in order to bring that positivity over to your team. Practice gratitude. What, Adriana, didn't you talk about recognition and appreciation? I did, but yet this is different. This is a mindset. This is how you think. So what is gratitude? It's understanding and having appreciation, yes, but it's for things that you're experiencing every day. It's really looking at it with a different lens. It's the gratitude that you have. You may have someone who submitted everything on time. Have gratitude for that. Oh my goodness, they submitted everything on time. How wonderful is that, right? Versus expecting that that's just an expectation. It's even like the sun is out. I'm so grateful that the sun is out. It's proven when you have gratitude and you start identifying gratitude, simple, complex, tons of them, even just a few, it changes your mood. It shifts you into a positive light. And don't forget, it's about mirroring. So if you have gratitude and you're positive, that's another way that you're going to mirror this attitude and behavior to your team. And it's just going to be catching, and that's exactly what you want. Now that you know how to keep your team positive, don't forget, under this video is a link to understand the top 10 project mistakes that are going to set you up for failure. You definitely want to check it out. If you still have questions about teams, I have this video on how to have a high performance team. Definitely check it out. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Consider subscribing to this channel. We have an amazing community. And if you have any comments, you know where to put them below. Until the next video.